Well, I think with that, we can get started. I'll call the meeting to order a minute early if that works for everybody.
Sure.
So let the time be known as 6:59. I think, Dawn, you said you volunteered to take notes.
I did.
Thank you very much.
No,
I
no,
don't think I did.
that was from an old email.
Oh, sorry, I must have misread that old thread then. Who can be the
I
notee?
think it's my turn.
Okay, thanks, Eileen. All right, so we'll do a quick roll call. Drew Steffes, 48073. Dawn?
Dawn Rapinski, 48073.
Travis?
Here in WROK.
Jody? Oh, sorry, Eileen.
Oh, WROK 48073.
Liz?
Liz Rivard Weston, Royal Oak.
All right, thanks, everyone. I think we can open the floor to public comment. I don't know if Jim has anything he wants to add.
Well, my part for public comment is the amount of money that we raised for April and May was $436.42.
Nice. And this came from the,
These are from all donations.
okay.
Number 3.
Okay.
Well,
Super.
I opened Jim up to be able to talk if he wants to. And there he is.
Who?
I don't even know if he's listening. He's on
Where?
in the other room. I don't know.
Jim,
Oh,
Jim, do you have anything to say for public comment?
That was him, the squealing.
oh, you heard that.
I did. I was cracking up. I love it.
I'm gonna
Somebody, it's all about the timing. All about timing.
Is
Yeah.
that about dinner time?
That's about somebody is busy and not paying attention to him.
Gotcha.
And yeah. And that's where's my vegetable?
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we have any public comment, so I think we can move forward with the.
Can somebody? A couple people have asked me questions. Can I put them in here? Because they didn't know how to get on Zoom, or forget it.
were you able to answer their questions?
No.
So maybe let's talk.
One of them was.
So maybe it makes more sense to talk about this later on in the meeting.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay, I don't know if anybody has any idea or preference, but
Yeah, when we vote to approve the agenda, if it's something you want to discuss, Eileen, we should add it there.
It's not. It's just a question. A couple. I think I can put them in where they are. I mean, where the categories are. You know.
okay, perfect.
So that's not a problem.
So I'd like to just verify that we can move on to approving the May 20th, 2021 minutes.
I move to approve the May 20th, 2021 minutes.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Dawn?
Aye.
Travis?
Yes.
Eileen?
Yes.
Liz?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I'd also like to get the approval of the June 17th, 2021 minutes.
I make a motion. Oh, Dawn, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead and I'll second it.
I make a motion that we approve the June 17th minutes.
I'll second that.
Dawn? Travis?
Yes.
Eileen?
Yes.
Liz?
Yes.
All right, thank you, everybody. And
Drew,
then
you also have to vote. I don't know.
I also approve the June 17th. And then I'd like to get the approval of the July 15th agenda. Unless if there's any additions.
Eileen, did you want to put anything on the agenda?
No, no, the questions that I have will come in with, like unfinished and staff
Oh,
reports.
okay.
So
All right.
that's no problem.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Dawn,
Yes, I approve it.
Travis,
Yes.
Eileen,
Yes,
Liz,
Yes.
and Drew also approves. So we can turn it over to Jody for shelter report.
Okay, and did everybody get that emailed?
yes. I
Okay,
mean, I did.
perfect.
I'm speaking for myself.
Okay, perfect. So June was a big month for us for incoming strays, but as you can see, we got all of them but one returned. Well, all but one dog, 2 cats. End of the month, we had 5 dogs and we had adopted out 3 cats. Hooray, 3 more cats. So we're down to, well, we were down to 30 in-house with 5 still in foster. Any questions?
Yeah, I had a question about what steps are you taking to facilitate the adoption of those feral cats a little quicker than, because it's
Well,
been over 3 months. and-
Yeah, they're not feral.
Well,
They're
I know,
just,
but-
they're just, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I want to make sure we get
The house
the
cat.
terms correct.
Yeah,
We are reaching out, trying to get transfers. Everybody's packed right now. Nobody has room to move anybody. It's just the way it's going. Because early in COVID, we had people who wanted to foster and adopt. Now people are going back to work. They're going on vacation and everything is slowed down to a crawl. Everybody that I'm talking to is in the same boat. I mean, like I said, we adopted 3 of them out last month. I've placed 2 went out today on foster to adopt. 1 went out on Sunday. So we're down. And if we could get to the point where we stopped having strays coming in, strays that don't need to be in, our numbers would be getting better. But we're still getting people who are bringing in strays that shouldn't be in the shelter.
are you speaking of stray cats or stray dogs?
Yeah, stray cats.
Okay.
Stray cats.
What was I gonna- I had a couple people ask me, why are you refusing the cats to come into the shelter and asking them to go to other places?
Well, it depends on what they're looking for. If they're looking to surrender, then they should be looking at rescues. They should be looking at other places. We are basically full right now. I do not have extra room. I've got to keep space available, as you know, for animal control and for the PD. And we have been pretty full. Once we get a couple out, we have been getting other strays brought in by PD and animal control. We don't have room. A lot of people don't have room right now. If they're looking to rehome, we're giving them resources. You can, here are a couple of places where you can look to rehome yourself. You should go to rescues, because the shelter, and this is, I think we go back to the initial reason for the shelter, we should be an emergency place. We should not be the place where people go, I'm tired of this cat, or it's peeing
yeah,
outside the litter box.
That, Julie.
So we are giving them all kinds of resources of other places to go, but we're pretty much at capacity. We've been running at past capacity because of those cats for the last several months, and even the ones we're getting placed. So it's not that we're refusing cats. We are just following industry best practices of how and who we should be bringing in, and making the community help with their own cats as well. So again, we're not a one-stop shop for people who have a little issue, and so they think they can just come to the shelter and go, here, I don't want my cat anymore, or I can't take care of my cat, or my cat is sick, which obviously we don't have the resources to deal with a cat that needs medical care. We give them all of these options. Here's where you can check, here's where you can check, you can try this, this, and this, and this, and this, but we cannot step in and take your cat right now.
Is
Is
it, let
that
me ask you-
open? I was at Oakland County last week for the Bissell event.
Mhm.
And they were very low on cats.
Yeah, and we've talked to county. There are a couple of things going on there, but we've talked to county about taking some of these cats because obviously they have more resources than we
Right.
have. I've also heard that they are low on cats, where every rescue and every small shelter is pretty full, having a hard time moving animals. And we kind of have a standing request with them about these cats. And DC, you can step in and tell me if I'm wrong on this. We sort of have had a standing request with them that if they open up some space so we could move some of them along, we would really like to be able to do that to free up some of our kennel space. And we have basically been told that they don't have the room for us. So that's an internal thing with them. There may be a reason that they're not taking in cats, but we have requested on numerous occasions for them to take some of these cats.
Have you
I've talked to Pat.
filled out the forms or done the try to get us hooked up with Bissell?
I haven't in the past, because there are other shelters that need to do it for space. If they can't open space, they're euthanizing. We don't euthanize. And I would really prefer that these animals who need to get out of the shelter or be killed are the ones that take precedence. We've not been at this point before, and it's because of, again, the hoarding cats. But for the future, if we stay at this level, it may be something we look at. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't realize, that it has helped with a couple of the cats. If people come to me about these cats, because they do take a little extra care. They're very sweet, very friendly cats, but they're shy. They're still skittish, and most people don't want a skittish cat. They want a cat that's going to sit on their lap or be playful with whoever they have at home already. We are not charging an adoption fee for these cats. I'm not making it big publicly known, but we're doing what the Bissell group is doing. If somebody wants to know about the cats, they're getting that information as well, because we just need to get them into homes. And so it's just, again, cats aren't necessarily
That's
moving
a good
right
point. And sometimes when you
Yeah.
do that, they give you a donation anyway.
Well,
Can I please ask
in
a
all
question?
honesty, we've been bringing in donations that are probably double our adoption fees, because people are grateful that we're not charging them in this particular case. They've been very, very generous, very gracious about it. And I just direct them to the online portal, and they make them through the city.
May I please ask a question? Thanks.
Sorry.
It said people are bringing in what they're calling strays that need to be brought in. Has there been any consideration, and this is an honest question, this isn't like a leading question, has
Yeah.
there been any consideration maybe partnering with the library or something and doing some community education on what should be left alone versus what?
Yeah, well, and I will tell you honestly, it's not really people who are bringing them in. It is, again, it's animal control and then it's the police, but it's because people are calling them and saying, oh, here's an abandoned cat. It's starving, it's crying. So they're doing what they're supposed to be doing by picking these animals up. I think in many cases, because people are being told that we are not accepting surrenders. And so we've seen this in the past, and this isn't me trying to make the narrative up. This is me kind of interpreting that a lot of times people try to find an end run. If they don't get the answer they want, they just change the story a little. And so the ones that are coming in are, I believe that they may have been cats we've already heard about from other people, that we have already said you need to find another solution, but instead they're calling in and saying there's a need for this animal to be removed. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Quick question. Is this purely a cat issue?
It's mostly cats, because stray dogs we always take in. Stray dogs are a public safety hazard, a nuisance. Stray cats very often are not stray cats. they're generally indoor-outdoor cats or indoor cats that get away from their home. And I know I've said this before. I will stay on my soapbox about this. Statistically, 2% of cats that are brought into animal shelters as stray, I found this lost cat, 2% of them get back with their families. The other 98% are either feral and very often get euthanized, which we don't do, or they are somebody's cat and never get home. So we've got to find them a new family. We do talk to people about leaving cats alone. They're always concerned about the weather or the this or the that. And what we tell them is if the animal is friendly and looks healthy or seems healthy, they have found either a shelter, source of food, somebody's taking care of them, or they're taking care of themselves. They do not need to come into the shelter. It is actually worse for them if they come into the shelter because they are taken from their community. Lots of stuff. So people do get this answer when they reach out to us directly. But as I mentioned to Liz, a lot of people know that the end run is to simply call the police or call animal control and say, oh my God, there's this abandoned cat. It's got to be picked up. It's family moved. Whether they know this or not, they often will come up with that story themselves of, oh, it's been left alone. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm still talking. Sorry.
Jody, one last question. When is the shelter going to be open?
That's going to be up to the PD and staffing issues. So everything in the city hasn't been reopened yet. And we are still understaffed and not trained. So
you
until we can, yeah.
You still have 2 people versus.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And I mean, it's fine as far as we're able to do it within our hours, but then to stretch and have to do everything that we're doing plus open hours takes us over.
Okay, thank you.
And we are still doing by appointment if people want to adopt.
Right, yeah.
So that they know that it's not that we're like closed and bolted. We are doing what is getting done,
right,
with appointments.
Okay.
I just want to weigh in on this.
I'm sorry.
What?
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Just a couple things. I did want to touch on the fact that we have a lot of cats right now because several months ago we took in roughly 60 to 80 cats from one house. Had we not taken in those 60 to 80 cats, we would not be having the issues we are right now because those cats are somewhat unadoptable. So yes, I have reached out to the county many times. They've taken many off of our hands, but typically they say, we're full, but we'll take 5. We're full, but we'll take 10. But we had 60 to 80 cats that we took out of that house?
All told, I think we took out 100 because we found a couple of rescues that helped us out. County took, I want to say maybe the most, all as one group, but they are not the only group that pulled from us. And so we got it down to about 30. So we placed about 70 cats.
Shelley mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very unique situation that we're in right now. And I don't think any shelter has a plus formula for dealing with these type of cats. So
no.
I think we've done a good job at managing it as best as possible to this point. To touch on opening the shelter, technically the shelter is open. It is functioning. There hasn't been a great need for a lot of people to come and go from the shelter, but the animals are being tended to by employees every day. And the other thing I would mention is if you guys do get questions from people that you don't have the answer to, I'm at the police department about 50 hours a week and Jody's at the animal shelter about 35 hours a week. So
well, I've told them to go to the site.
Right. Well, there's 85 hours a week that they could call one of us and we'd be happy to answer any questions that they have.
Yeah, and I will mention too, following on that, I've been checking up with some of the other shelters in the area. A lot of them are still doing by appointment, and a lot of them are planning on doing appointment for the foreseeable future. Because what I think we've all found is doing it by appointment rather than having people just stop in has worked a lot better for the animals and a lot better for staff time. We're not just, there have been times in the past when we would open up for a 4 to 6 hour shift, 4 hours, and nobody would come by. Nobody would come at all. And we had to have staff there, obviously, and enough staff. when we do it by appointment, we can make sure that we are scheduled appropriately to have people there, and we get done what we need to get done without people just dropping in.
Is it
So it's the same.
possible in the future, if you're going to be doing that, to also have maybe one day a month or a special day that you have an open viewing for, let's say there's on the calendar some month which is called Black Cat Day. And so you could have a Black Cat Day opening, and if you have the black cats, that's one thing. And maybe a 3-hour block, that's all, within the time, you know, that you come in to feed them, or before you feed them at night, etc. I'm just throwing that out. So some people that would not normally call for an appointment would say, you know, I've been meaning to do this, I'll go, etc.
Right. Well, you know what, and not to take up a ton of time, because I know there are 100 other things that we need to talk about at this meeting. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the suggestion, because I think it's a good one. But we're kind of at 6 of one, half dozen of the other sometimes, because we actually have been very productive with the appointments. And a lot of these cats, just to come in and look at them, they don't show that well. But when people do reach out to us because they're motivated adopters or they're motivated fosters and they really are looking to, you know, they still need to fill out an application. They can't just walk in and go, I'll take that one, and, you know, hand us money.
No,
We still
no.
want to make sure that they're, you know, not going to do something. Most people don't, but we want to make sure they're not going to have some negative thing that they want to do with the cat. Where was I going before I went on my tangent? But yeah, with the appointments, we have had very motivated adopters, and they talk to us. So they'll say, well, what about this one? Well, what personality are you looking for? So we're having these conversations that we're able to have with people who are really interested and motivated, as opposed to answering the same questions 15 or 20 times over for people who just are making small talk. Now, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I am simply saying that I do find, we have found that the appointments are very productive for us. So doing it this way has not lost us adoptions, I don't think. Because again, lots of cats, they're not really moving, and these ones don't necessarily show well right at the gate.
I'm aware of that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Else, DC? If everyone's good, we can go on to your report.
Sounds good to me. Everybody got the financial report I sent. I just want to point out it's a little bit different. I kind of fumbled through it a little bit. This is the end of the year report for us, because our fiscal year goes from July 1st to June 30th. So this is kind of a year, from the best of my knowledge, looking at this is what we took in for the entire year and we paid out for the entire year. So looking at that, for the month of June, we took in $5,741, and I kind of dove into that a little bit. And the t-shirt sales did go in. I think it was about $2,817. That sound about right? Yeah. So that's the bulk of the donations from the 5,300. The rest was just $100 here, $300 there. But for the year, we took in $45,835 and some change. And for the year, our expenditures were $77,655, which both figures are dramatically down. Well, I wouldn't say dramatically, but they're down from A, estimation, and B, years past. But most of that's due to COVID in general. So that's it.
Great work on the donations. That's
Yeah.
cool.
All right. I'm done.
Any further questions? All right, I think we can move on to unfinished business. You have a line item for events.
Is this where I think we discussed all the different events in the last meeting? Am I correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, future ones?
Yeah, and I mean, I think it might make more sense to cover under new business. There's a folder in our Royal Oak Animal Shelter Drive called fundraising initiatives, and I can reshare it with everybody. But if we can maybe get some eyes on that for going forward, I know we have a couple line items in there for like for August. We were going to talk about possibly doing holiday ornaments sometime in maybe November timeframe where we would,
That
offer.
could be new business.
Yeah, that's why I said I think this should just be new business. So I think we can kind of continue on unless if anyone has any objection.
Okay, so there's no unfinished business.
Drew, why don't you send that out again?
Yep, I'll shoot it out right now. Actually, let me see if I can just do this real quick.
Well, it can wait until after the meeting and then I'll have a chance to read it. Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to try to paste it in the chat here if I can find the.
Drew, are you working, sorry, are you working out of the Word doc or the Excel sheet?
The Google sheet. It's called
Excuse
fundraising
me,
planning.
The Google sheet, excuse me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. There's some stuff also in the Google Doc for fundraising ideas. So I mean, we probably should just converge those together into one repository. But so moving on to new business donations and fundraising, I think we've kind of covered some of the updates today. Is there anything that anyone wanted to talk about related to donations and fundraising? I will touch on my stuff probably. I think it probably makes sense either under F or G for probably under volunteering.
I made contact with Leon and Lulu's initially, but they really haven't gotten back except for they suggested that we pick a month that we would like to do this. And she suggested at least 3 to 4 months ahead of time that we contact her.
Is this for like an evening where people show up and they mention Royal Oak Animal Shelter and a portion of their bill goes to the animal shelter?
Correct.
Okay. Has there historically been any restaurants that we've worked with in the past? Because otherwise I'll start trying to reach out to places.
Well, we did that at Fifth Avenue. We had spring for the shelter there.
Okay, but
that was a night function.
But outside of Fifth Ave, has there really been any other venues that we've historically worked with in the past, or do we need to start cultivating
Texas
relationships? Pardon?
Texas Roadhouse.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe what I'll do, and I'll take this as an action item. If everybody agrees, and this is something that maybe we want to try to get into a rotation in a perfect world where every month maybe there's one restaurant venue that we can kind of maybe publish an ongoing list, either Facebook or the city page, where we say, hey, whatever date, come to this restaurant, mention Royal Oak Animal Shelter, and a portion of your bill proceeds go to supporting the animal shelter. So if everybody agrees to that, I'll try to start reaching out to local restaurants.
Oh, we also did Olga's on Woodward.
When was the last time we did that with them?
Oh, that was 2009, 10.
Okay, so we can reach back out. I think Travis has a question or a comment.
Yeah, I think the Texas Roadhouse has been a good one too, because they tend to make donations to us from the owner or the manager of that restaurant too. And so I know we didn't do it last year because of the pandemic, but I think that's a fairly easy one to do because they already have that set up and it's something that
So,
I think is fairly easy, right, Eileen? You just go in there and set a date with them and do the
Yes,
flyers.
they do all the advertising, but then they give you a flyer design and pardon me.
so it's really just on us. It's really just on us to get that flyer out into the community to
Yeah,
build
right.
awareness.
You have to get the flyer out. Pardon me.
Okay. So if we can, yeah, let's continue to do that. But I think we probably need to, I'll take the lead on trying to cultivate new relationships. And if, I don't know who's handled Texas Roadhouse in the past, but maybe we can try to keep that going and get another one.
Eileen has done that. Eileen has been in contact with them. Also,
Okay.
I will contact Hodges Subaru because Subaru is very active in the animal donation. And when I bought my car, I asked them about it and they said, just come and talk to us. So I don't know what they'll do, but at least I can find out and see. I need to go find out about some of the features on my car anyway. So it'll give me the chance to talk to somebody about what they can do to raise money for us. Because they were thrilled to think that somebody would really ask about that. So I'll go there.
Awesome. Thanks, Dawn.
Can I jump back to the restaurant idea?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure everyone remembers there was kind of like an outcry that we were like headlined as a recipient of donations during some event. I think it was like hot dogs and
Yeah.
happiness or something. I don't know. But somehow some folks who don't consume meat found out about it and were pretty vocal on social media about it. So I just want to
I think if we just steer,
remember that.
Yeah, I think if we just steer clear of doing events that are these, drink and eat events and more focus on just a venue, might be less backlash.
I think it has to do with the animal shelter rehoming animals and people consuming meat. I don't think.
No. I get that, but it's because the event was literally called like hot dogs and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I think if we're just saying like some restaurant is doing a thing where you come on a Tuesday night and you pay and 20% goes to the animal shelter, I don't think we're going to get any backlash there.
So the only backlash we're going to get is that restaurants aren't making the money right now, and to go and ask them, when they can't even supply enough people to work for them.
Right.
I think we're sort of barking up the wrong tree. So to speak.
I agree with
that was great.
I agree with Dawn. My opinion's backed by working for the Workforce Development Agency in Oakland County. Restaurants can't find people. So I think Dawn, I said it before, earlier. I just think we have to be mindful about approaching companies coming out of a pretty tough year. And now, the labor shortage, it's tough. I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't ask. I just wouldn't be surprised if you hear something like that we don't have the people power to support a big group coming in.
So just recently, my husband went to a local credit union and asked for help for a service club in Royal Oak. And they were more than happy to donate money. So, if we go to financial companies who have not had to give any money to anything, that might be a way to approach it. I think we're just going to have to be creative.
I agree.
Yeah,
I would look at the industries that are.
Maybe we can do like some of the local grocery stores, like Holiday Market. People come in and say, shopping on behalf of the animal shelter. Portion of the bill goes to animal shelter, something like that. Travis.
I think Jody, you had a comment about the the restaurant thing, right? Or is
Yeah,
that
I
issue
was
we
just
had
saying,
before?
yeah, I was taking it back to and what Liz said. It was about the hot dogs. Every complaint we got was because it was you're trying to save dogs while you're eating animals. And I mean, we got the money from vegans and vodka, and I want to say a couple $1,000. I may be wrong, but I think it might have even been more than was generated by the other one. So that was the problem. It was animal. I don't want to say animal welfare. It was like the PETA type groups that were having problems because we did it with hot dogs. It was supposed to be a cute play on words, but it did not go over.
But I think like a restaurant doing something, I mean, would be fine. It's not like this restaurant is not in existence otherwise. And if they choose to donate 10%,
Mhm.
you know, it's not like we created the restaurant to do that. So
No, exactly. I think a lot of times those donations, they don't necessarily bring in a ton of money, like $100, a couple $100. But if the restaurant does most of the work and that's the route that, someone wants to take, I don't know whether there would be any benefit from reaching out to like Arts Beats and Eats since they're coming back. And I know they do without having to do a beer tent or anything. I know that they often name, here he goes, sorry. I know that they often name charities that they want to work for. So I don't know whether that's something or other.
What about the possibility, that semi-professional ball team at Memorial Park? And I haven't gone to
Oh,
a game,
the leprechauns.
whatever they are. So
Yeah,
maybe
the leprechauns. I don't know.
perhaps, perhaps they'd like to partner with the animal shelter. I don't know. I haven't gone to a game, so I really know nothing about it. But maybe that's a possibility. It's something where people would go and have fun, and maybe they want to do some kind of, partnership with the animal shelter, or have, people taking donations.
What about putt-putt golf?
Yeah,
A day, or a weekend at putt-putt golf.
sure.
There's no meat.
Yeah.
there.
Or even at the golf course. I know
I like
that Joe always cooperates and helps. So
I like that idea a lot. Good idea, Eileen.
Yeah, it's a family affair.
Does anyone know there's the putt-putt golf place on 13. Does anyone, I don't know who owns that. Does anyone?
So we got some money from the golf, I think it's called the Golf Center, the Rollo Golf Center.
The
We got
driving range.
money from them in a donation of gift cards for sessions for learning how to golf or putt, whatever.
I think that's what Dawn was talking about with Joe Spatafor, isn't it?
No,
Isn't
no, Joe runs the golf course, but then the putt and
Oh, I thought you were talking about
No,
I
center
thought
that-
we had gone off on something else, but yeah,
No. the center is run by somebody else, and they both have different managers. And so, but I think we got $50 worth of lessons or something
gotcha.
from them.
Okay.
So
I mean, I know I have somebody who has a connection at the putt-putt place. If that's a place you want to pursue, if you guys have a letter or something of introduction, I'm more than happy to reach out to my connections too and have them be the ones to do the intro.
cool. And I don't think we have a letter of introduction. By the way,
there's one that you can do. I mean, redo if I still have it.
what, Eileen, can you post that? And then we can,
I
if we
don't know
can
if it, I'll find it now. Maybe I take a picture of it and send it. to you.
okay.
Okay,
Send it-
so
okay.
do we need someone to go kind of broker a relationship with the people at the golf center or no?
Well, it's like Jody, she has a connection. I
Okay.
was there 3 years ago. So, I mean, it depends. Somebody, maybe that golfs, I think, what is it, Dawn, you golf?
No, but I know Joe Spatafor really well.
Well, I know Joe because I see him every month. So, you know,
Do we have a list of all the contacts of people who have been like kind of good to us? Is that on the
No.
drive?
well, I have my contacts.
Right, but no, we don't, we have one from Furball.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
We maybe I'll throw together a Google sheet, and we probably need to start a central repository of that.
some of mine might be very, not there anymore.
Well, and you know, that can be on everybody to revisit and only add stuff that's relevant. But I mean, if, just for food for thought, if we're going to get serious about donations and fundraising, to try to maybe hit these people annually and just track so we're not bugging them multiple times.
Well, I always look at it this way. If you've been shopping there or you have credit with the people, you have a good chance of talking to them and getting money from them. So that's the best way to go after people.
I totally agree, but I'm just trying to make sure we don't step on each other's toes. That's all.
Sure.
And make sure that if we need to send a thank you at the end of the year for supporting an animal shelter, we have a comprehensive list.
Mhm.
Right. Kind of down the road thinking, but okay. Anything else on the topic of donations and fundraising? Do we have anything related to meetings and agenda procedure this week or this month?
No, I think you covered that in the minutes of the last meeting.
Okay.
So we could probably take that off for the next meeting.
Okay. Barktoberfest.
It's happening.
It is on.
Yeah,
Do you know the date, Dawn?
I do not.
Okay.
But all we have to do is look, let me just look up the Chamber of Commerce real quick. Chamber of Commerce events.
Well, it's in October, so.
With this, I don't know if anybody has any ideas on things that we could maybe sell at the Barktoberfest to raise money. I don't know if anybody has any
Well,
thoughts.
Liz and I talked about having doing another walk in person.
It looks like it's, oh, sorry, go ahead, Don.
No, I said we talked about it. Not long, but we did talk about it.
It looks like the event is on September 11th and 12th.
Okay.
I don't know if someone wants to confirm that, but that's what's coming up for me.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the calendar.
Yeah, it looks like
Oh,
it looks
come
like
on,
that's the 11th. Yep, the 11th and 12th.
okay.
The 12th of September.
Yeah. It looks like it's $5 or excuse me, $5 per person. Children under 10 are free. Real Park. Here, I'll put the link. Is there a chat? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't figure out the chat here.
I just see a question and answer. It's okay. I'll email it to the group. It's fine.
Okay. Thanks, Liz. Thanks, Don.
Events calendar is only coming up with July events.
Okay.
We can't-
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is right because it has a big COVID thing on the top. So I'm guessing that's not for
Yeah,
us.
the crazy thing. It's not
Yeah,
even
so
like
I mean, we
that.
talked about maybe doing, like Don said, maybe doing the dog walk. Drew, I hear what you're saying about if we have a table, if there's stuff we could sell. I don't know. I mean,
Selling doesn't go well because they're giving away so much stuff.
Okay.
right. And
All
there's always the issue of like, if we print shirts and stuff, where are we going to hold the merchandise and stuff like that if it doesn't sell? So
Staffing the table. No, I get it. There's a lot of logistic.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. Let's run with that if we can.
Wait a minute, to get back up, roll back for just a second. We're gonna roll with what?
the idea, I mean, I like the idea of doing the dog walk.
Okay. So maybe we could though end up in the park and somebody could be selling some of our t-shirts or the Christmas ornaments or something like that.
Yeah. I think that'll be a little early for the Christmas ornaments. I mean,
No, not really.
people
People
are
buy
gonna,
that stuff in advance. So
Mm,
Walgreens will have Christmas ornaments out next month.
that's right. As soon as we're done with July, the
literally
Christmas
disgusting.
stuff goes up.
Costco may have them out this month.
Why not? We've already got back to school. The school just ended a month ago. So who knows?
Next,
Right. Fur ball.
Nothing. I
Nothing.
went on vacation this month.
Good for you.
Yeah.
We'll worry about it next month.
should I put on hold?
Sure.
Well, on hold, when you mean on hold, Eileen, you're talking about, we'll talk about it next month or
Yeah.
on hold?
Yeah,
All right. I think this is a DC question about additional committee members, but maybe this is someone else. Do I need to work with,
I think
do I need to work with Shar on this one? What's the process here?
you probably have to talk to Shar.
It comes out through the city. The applications have to go into the city. And then, I'm sorry.
Can our city employee tell us?
I talked to Melanie Hallis today. She's posting for the position to be filled.
Thank you.
Who is?
The city
Melanie.
Oh, Melanie Haas,
Hallis, yes.
Hallis.
Okay, perfect. Takes that. Thanks, DC. And then any seasonal, I mean, the seasonal fundraising activities is kind of stuff like the ornament. So we probably should find, I'll see if I can find something online unless you know, that screen printing site we used for in the past for the t-shirts, unless maybe they have ornaments. I see some stuff in the fundraising file about a movie night or something along those lines. I don't know if that's a lift that we want to take. I think we kind of missed the boat probably on a community garage sale, unless if there's one later in the fall that I'm not aware of. But I think the ornaments is a pretty big no-brainer that we can easily sell online.
I just had an idea. What is the possibility, not for this year, because it's not going to work right now,
Mhm.
but if we look at the future of having an outside like a movie theater in a large field, and I can think of a couple of large fields in the area, and only show movies about animals. You know, like that big.
Clausen's,
Pardon me?
like Clausen's movies.
Yeah, like Clausen does.
Okay.
Yeah, like Clausen does.
Yeah,
That could be cool for like,
You know,
I
like
mean-
what is it? Something in the Tramp, that Disney movie.
Lady
Lady
in
and
the
the Tramp. Yeah, Lady and the Tramp. You know, I mean, like movies like that, family movies. It could be fun. We could make some money.
Yeah,
If we could pull something like that off this year, I think it would be cool, but I wonder if we could like really blow it up and do like a series, like May,
Right.
June, July, August, September, October, do like one a month.
I was gonna say if we could fit it in. I mean, it might be overly aggressive. The fall is the best time to go sit outside, being how September is generally really nice.
Yeah.
long time ago, I think they approached, what is it? Imagine Theater to do something like that.
Somebody,
Long time.
one of the volunteers for Furball, secured a donation from Imagine.
Mhm.
So in addition to what you're saying, Eileen, I know someone on that Furball committee has had semi-recent contact.
Mm.
I have my friend is the Clarkston Chamber Director, and I know he's done, I mean, I realize it's not Royal Oak, but he's done a couple movies in the park. Let me chat with him about what went into that.
Okay.
Forge a partnership locally, right, to see how, to help make that happen.
We probably would have to talk to the police about it too. I don't know anybody on the police force.
Yeah, luckily we have one here. Should be easy.
Oh, okay, that's right.
There could be a need for a special event permit.
Okay. But we wouldn't be feeding them
No,
or letting them drink. It would be just a movie and they could bring, they could picnic.
well,
Yeah, you still
you
need
could
crowd
rent-
control,
you could
right?
Rent a popcorn maker.
I was gonna say, maybe it would be fun to do concessions.
It would still be a need most likely for a special event permit.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Which
if we get that, it would be fun to do concessions.
you'd also have to, if you're doing it in the park, you'd have to check with Parks and Rec to make sure they're good.
I know somebody who's on the Parks and Rec committee.
I know a few. Both
Well, I married to him.
both are very simple processes.
Yeah.
I wonder, right, so we're talking about a special events permit. I wonder if there's rules about showing movies publicly for profit. I mean, for donation, for profit, whatever. I mean, I don't know.
Let me check with
the-
the Clausen people about it, because I know somebody.
Okay,
No,
I'll
I'm
check
trying to do
I'll
that.
check with my friend too. We'll compare notes.
Okay.
I think those-
Maybe we can rent the main art now that it's closed for like a night or two and show a bunch of dog movies.
From what I heard, it's not in any position to be used.
Yeah, unfortunately,
That's what I heard.
it's kind of a bummer.
Condition, not position.
All right, next, anything else here, or can we move to the next line item? All right, future volunteers. So, Jody, I copied you on that note. I've been reaching out to a number of the local high schools, local Royal Oak bases, kind of what I'm starting with, and scouting troops. There was someone who did say, hey, we would be, I have an Eagle Scout, they're looking for a project. Do we have like a list of things that they could either work on or ideas beyond can drive fundraising I'm expecting them to come to the table with some ideas and thoughts, but I was wondering if we had any starters that we could like, hey, give to them and say like, hey, here's some ideas. What do you have in terms of stuff they could work on? Or
Yeah, it would be easiest for me if they came with ideas, because that gives me an idea of what they're looking as far as a time commitment and as far as, specialty equipment or whatever, whether they're looking inside, outside. So if we had an idea of what they were hoping to achieve, besides, I think if it's an Eagle Scout project, it kind of helps to see how creative they are with their ideas in advance. And then we can kind of adjust the scope. Well, like we can't do that, but possibly we can go along the same avenue.
right. And I mean, I think, there's a couple ways we can skin this. It can be something purely focused on fundraising. It could be something more focused on, generally there needs to be a project, component to this, whatever it may be. So it could be like, speaking personally, mine was kind of split between like a fundraising component and then, the actual project component, which is kind of what I think I would recommend steering them towards is whatever the project is, do something at the animal shelter, but you kind of got to self-fund it yourself in terms of, doing a can drive or whatever it may be, or, to help out your project or whatever the animal shelter needs. So I think we just have to come with some ideas. If you don't mind talking, we can maybe have a quick call. That's why I said we'll have a quick call with them and figure out what they're interested in doing. But I mean, a decent scout project should be like 200 man hours of work.
Yeah, which is a lot. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I think the requirement's a minimum of 100, but I mean,
Mhm.
that's pretty easy to hit. So it should, I mean, I'm figuring like we're working with like easily 150 to 200 hours.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
Royal Oak and Shrine both replied to me and said, we're going to keep you guys in mind and we'll loop you in if we have anyone interested. So lots of positive feedback. So
Good.
if there's any particular time that works best for you, but we'll try to get a quick 15-minute meeting with these, or 30-minute meeting with the scout and the whoever's involved, and then you and I, and then we can kind of just broker this and figure out how we want to get moving on it.
Yeah, well, for me, it usually works best if it's like between 11 and 3, because otherwise I'm in shift hours.
Okay.
So midday is when I try to book all of my meetings so that I
Okay.
can.
I might just jump on and then just jump off and leave you guys to it, but at least we can get started.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right. Make note of that. So we're making some traction there. I have to figure out how to contact Girl Scouts because I was having the hardest time finding emails or anything to reach out to. So we'll see where that goes there. I don't know if anybody has any other groups beyond schools, high schools, and scouts that you think would be worth looking into. I mean, those are the two big ones that kind of pop up in my mind, but I don't know if anybody has any suggestions or ideas that.
Next.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at there. Does anybody else have anything additional? Otherwise, we will conclude the call and have the next meeting August 19th. Same location as far as I'm aware, unless if DC's heard anything different.
There was something on page 2, Leon and Lulu shopping at Ridley's Comedy Castle on the agenda.
Well, those were just on the parking
Oh,
lot,
those are on the park list.
Oh,
unless-
okay, I beg your pardon.
unless we want to bring any of those in.
No, it was just like way down here.
Oh,
Okay. It's on page 2.
Right.
Okay.
Somebody going to make a motion to adjourn?
Hold on, we got to touch on the next meeting. City meetings now have been moved pretty much in person. We can vote to stay Zoom, I think, if we'd like, but I think we'd be the only committee to vote to do that. If it's all right with you guys, I've already reserved the conference room at the police department for next month's meeting.
So it's in person next month?
What are the, I mean, I realize it changes almost daily, but what, is there mask rules or is it personal choice at this point?
Personal choice at this point, in my opinion. I mean, if you haven't been vaccinated,
Get vaccinated.
yeah, we can say that. But if you haven't been vaccinated and you're uncomfortable wearing a mask, you can. It's up to you. We'll say personal.
And public comment is like public coming in. Is there limitations as to how many people can come in?
We haven't really thought about that. Jody saw the room today for the first time. It's a very large room. I don't think there's going to be an issue as far as overcrowding.
Okay, that's helpful to know. Thank you.
Have you guys seen the city commission chambers?
Yes.
It's bigger than the city commission chamber. It's very,
that's a big size then.
So do we, does everybody feel comfortable to do a vote or?
Yeah, I moved to the next meeting occur at the police station conference room or whatever it's called.
I know.
I have a question on that first. DC, will the parking out front of the police station still be free in August?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Do we need the card on our windshield or no?
no.
Okay. All right. So
Adjourned it.
Wait, I think Dawn needs a second for her motion.
I do.
I'll second your motion, Dawn.
Who's
Thank
second? Travis?
True.
Drew?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, just someone.
What's happening? I'm not quite clear.
We're voting on whether if we're having the meeting at the police station or not on August 19th. So Eileen,
Oh, yes.
okay, Dawn,
Yes,
Liz,
Yes.
Travis,
Yes,
and I as well, yes.
I want to throw one caveat out there. If something does happen in which we have to make accommodations because somebody does have some sort of illness and needs to stay away, there's a chance that we could make an accommodation for one member to be on Zoom for a meeting. If
Okay.
it comes to that, Zoom is a great feature, but to do meetings by Zoom is very difficult, and to do one person on a meeting by Zoom is even more difficult. So it was my opinion that it's either all or nothing. We're either on Zoom or we're not.
I
And
agree.
I know the city is really moving to be in person and trying to get back to some sort of normality. So, yeah, I think it's great. Maybe I exaggerated. It's probably about the same size as the city commission chamber room, but it's a large room. The old room that we were in is probably a third of the size of the new community.
It's a big upgrade.
Yes.
Super. Alrighty.
Well, thank you to the city staff that made these Zoom meetings possible. I know it was a heavy lift, so I personally appreciate it.
Came in ill. Make sure she set up the Zoom meeting. So I thank her. She
Do we?
got to work today.
We need a motion to adjourn.
I was about to say that.
Oh, thank you.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn at 8:01. Do you
I
have a
second that. Yeah, Liz seconds.
All in favor? Aye.
aye,
All right. Have a good evening, everybody.
aye.
Same to you.
Bye.
Have a nice week.